Legacy and family disputes. Now, this is an area that we as accountants have been pulled into many times over. We're talking about disputes between loved ones, the ones that look after each other. But when money is involved, disputes happen. And it can happen between the most connected people that you can imagine. Brothers, sisters, torn apart because of disputes about money. It's a horrible thing to say, but that happens because of one reason, and one reason only: a lack of will. And I don't mean by a will of your push to do something. I'm on about a will, a document that is not being talked about, a will that is not being written properly. This is really important, and I want you to take some time to think about it. So the first thing is families fall out long term. I'm not just talking about, a few moments, maybe a month, maybe 6 months. I'm talking about families fall out altogether and never speak to each other again, unless they go to the other person's funeral and then leave with that regret to say, I wish I buried the hatchet. But people aren't like that, are they? Loved ones may miss out. If you've not got a will, or you've miswritten your will, your loved ones, your nephew, your niece, your cousin, whoever it may be, your best friend, may be outside of your will and don't get something that you really intended for them to get. An unmarried partner may have nothing. It's generally true. If you are cohabiting, but you're not married, no children, you may have split up from your husband, wife, civil partner, and you get with someone else. You're happily together, but you don't tie the knot, and you don't have a will. Unfortunately, your partner may not have anything at all. So you have to think about that. That's a big area actually, is that people assume that it goes to their partner if they're not married, and that's just not true. It doesn't happen like that. You could pay more inheritance tax than needed because, and all because of a will. You kind of think, well, how can all these problems happen just because I don't have a will? Well, yeah, they do. Inheritance tax could be excessively more than you needed to because you didn't write a will. And you think, well, why? And that's because it helps you, by writing a simple document such as a will, makes you look at things in a different way, and it helps you understand what's the value of my estate, and then what is my HT problem going to be like. It really does it's a fantastic document. It really is. And yet 60%, I think, people don't have one. So it's quite a shame. Executors overwhelmed and make mistakes. I mean, this is the other side to this. Is you may have a best friend or a loved one, and you say, well, you be the executor. And they say, yes, of course, they love you and they'll do whatever you say. And then you realise, well, you won't realise it, but your beneficiaries realise they're out of their depth. They're making mistakes. What's my inheritance tax liability going to be like? And more importantly, you may set them up for failure because you're not communicating with them. You're not training them. If they make mistakes, they could be legally responsible for it. So you need to be very careful with who is in your team here. Here's a free ebook. Use the QR code all about legacy planning. There is a training course as well. Feel free to use that training course. QR codes are there. The links are in the description box below. So legacy and family disputes, some of the things you should and can do, and I feel that you should do it as well. Use our will writing software and be specific on gifts. If you use our will writing service, it will prompt you to think about different things, such as guardians of your children. Who's going to be executor? Are they equipped to be an executor? All of those things will be in our online writing service that you should use. Include a no contest clause. It sounds really basic here, but if we say that no, you can't contest this, this is my letter of wishes, this is my will, I don't want any arguments over this, this is what's happening, that's it, done. Review your will every 3 to 5 years, especially if there are significant changes in your life. Really important to do that. Point 4, appoint a smart and capable executors. By the way, I did put executor, then I kind of put executors, because you can have more than one. You could have a support peer group for your executor as well, which we can do actually as part of our legacy services. So if you are thinking, well, I've got this person as a executor, we can help you decide whether they're right for you. And we can help you understand and them understand if this role is right for them. So that's really important to think about. Make gifts to minimize IHD. Again, we can help you with that, part of our legacy services or inheritance tax advice. Use trust to protect your wishes, allocations. So if you know that you want specific heirlooms, watch, painting, car, a business, you want that to go to a specific person, you need to document that. We can help you with that process, and then we can put trust in place as well. So some of the things I want you to think about here, and this is just observations on what's going on. So here's the scenario: £5 million worth of estate, no will. Unmarried partner inherits nothing, as I described. They might be living together, doesn't matter, they get nothing. Litigation and £250,000 legal fees. A lot of disputes in family ends up having legal battles. The people that win are probate solicitors and solicitors in terms of going for each other in court. Huge amount of money is invested, huge amount of energy, huge amounts of emotion is put into this. And your solicitors are saying 125 an hour, 250 an hour, 300 an hour. And they're quite happy just to keep those bills racking up. At some point, you need to sort this out. And you could have sorted it out if you did it out from the outset, not wait until you passed away or your loved one passed away. Business owner dies, interstate, business relief relief lost, 1 million inheritance tax. So the business is meant to be going over to someone out into a business, but no one cares for it anymore. It's left, it's going to be sold straight away. No one wants to take over it straight away. Business relief lost. Or it might have happened that there may have been a sale before death and then not rolled over. All that inheritance tax paid needlessly, in my opinion. Overseas villa taxed in the UK and Spain. I mean, Spain, I live in Spain, and I can tell you now there are 17 regions in Spain, all of different inheritance tax problems that you need to be aware of if you've got villas in Spain. And then you have to think about, well, how does that differ from the UK? Well, in the UK, it's based on the estate paying inheritance tax. In the UK, it is the estate. Did I say that? In the UK, it's the estate that pays inheritance tax. In Spain, it's the beneficiaries, not the estate. So you could have this situation whereby you're paying double taxes if you're not careful and structure it correctly. Finally, stepchildren excluded under intestacy. If you are not naming your loved ones, if you've got with someone else and you wanted them to have assets, they may not have anything at all unless you name them. So make sure that you get that understood. Where do you want your assets to be allocated? A will. Who do you want to be your executor? Contained in the will. What do you want from your business? Contained in the will. Can you see how important this will really is? Without it, it's going to be a failure. There is a great saying, and I want to leave you with this one. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That is the importance of a will. My name is Simon Misiewicz. I'm a UK investment tax specialist. I'm also a will writer as well. There is our website. Feel free to book a discovery call to talk about our legacy services using that QR code. The link will be in the description box. Get your will done at the very least using our online will writing service. There's the QR code link also in the description box below.